All right, week 12, college football breakdown here. Good afternoon battle. In the ACC, we got Miami traveling to Clemson, taking on the one-loss Tigers. Clemson at home in the spot is a 19.5-point favorite. Total is lurking out there at around 47.5, 48 here on Friday afternoon. Miami did get back in the win column last week in Atlanta against Georgia Tech. I will say, while Georgia Tech has played better since they fired Jeff Collins, we shouldn't exactly give Miami too many kudos for beating a pretty talentless Georgia Tech team. There are burning images of Miami in their biggest game of the season against their arch rival, Florida State, laying an absolute egg. I mean, they lost that game 45-3. It was never close. Quite frankly, they quit in the middle of the game. One game against a clearly inferior opponent is not enough to change my mind about the makeup of this Mario Cristobal team here in year one. Miami does do some things well within their front seven defensively. They have shown a pretty strong pass rush for most of the season, and I actually think that they can hold up pretty well against the run. I like Clemson's running game. Not only has Will Shipley had a pretty good year, but Phil Maffa, he had over 100 yards last week against Louisville. So they are starting to get more quality depth at that position, multiple guys that can beat you. I don't view this offense as overly explosive, though. DJ Uiagalelei certainly improved. He's not a real threat in the vertical passing game. I mean, 7.2 yards per attempt is pretty mediocre. I also don't think Clemson is as good on their offensive line as people think. I'm not saying they're bad per se. I'm not saying they're average. I just think they're an above average offensive line. If Miami does come into this game and pin their ears back, I actually think that they have some horses up front that can go toe to toe with this Clemson offensive line. That's the side of the matchup where maybe I don't have as good of a feel on. One thing I can tell you, though, Clemson is going to get stops at will in this game. We know how good they are against the run. Miami has shown me nothing in that running game to make me think that they can run on this Clemson front seven. Since Clemson had that blow-up performance against Wake Forest where they allowed 45 points and that secondary got torched, they've responded well. Their secondary has been good. We don't know if Tyler Van Dyke is going to go. We know Jake Garcia is kind of the third option at this point. Last week, it was true freshman Ja'Cory Brown who started and won that game for Miami. Good for him. Maybe he's a good developmental piece in the future. Not a guy as a true freshman that's going to be ready to consistently make big-time throws in this type of game. Odds makers expect Miami to score around 13, 14 points in this game. I think that's dead on. I don't think Miami's going too far above that. I hate the way they're coached with Josh Gaddis. Their offensive line has been a little bit shaky at times, and that's probably going to be true going up against Clemson's front four. If Miami were to keep this game close, it would need to come in the form of a low-scoring game. Don't think the under is a terrible look at this key number at 48. What makes this game hard to bet? What kind of effort are we going to get from Miami? Will they build off last week, or will we see a similar type effort that they put up in the biggest game of the year against Florida State where they quit? That and that alone keeps me off the under. There's too big of a chance that we don't get a good effort from Miami. It's Clemson minus 19.5 or it's pass. I know Clemson's going to get stops for me. I think DJ Uiagalelei will be able to do enough to keep this offense moving and then, would trust Clemson's running game over the course of the 60 minutes. So it's Clemson minus 19.5 or it's pass. Way too big of a quit factor here for the Hurricanes. The holidays are here. Head over to proud90.com and check out their holiday selection. Still over a month till Christmas, so plenty of time to get yourself, a friend, a family member, some unique but very comfortable golf apparel. Weather's obviously getting colder too. Proud 90's got a great selection of hoodies and quarter zips as well. We're all doing a lot of Christmas shopping. Save yourself some money. Use code Fordham at checkout for 15% off your order. The rest of the information will be in the description below.